Have you heard the phrase psychological incapacity? Maybe in showbiz news when celebrities file for annulment on that ground. But what does it really mean? Under the Family Code of the Philippines, Article 36 introduced psychological incapacity as a ground to declare a marriage void. But in practice, at the beginning, courts and lawyers struggled to define and apply it. Tonight, let's look at a case where the Supreme Court stepped in, not just to resolve a marital dispute, but to set clear guidelines on psychological incapacity. This is Republic versus Court of Appeals and Molina. Like many couples, Rinaldo and Roridel began with hope. In 1985, they stood before the altar of San Agustin Church, promising a lifetime together. Soon after, they had a son, a family just beginning to take shape. But barely a year into the marriage, cracks started to appear. Roridel began to see a different side of Reynaldo. He spent more time with friends and wasted money on them. He depended on his parents for support, and he was dishonest about their finances. Small issues turned into repeated arguments, arguments that slowly wore the marriage down. Then Reynaldo lost his job. Roridel became the sole provider. The fights became more frequent, pushing them further apart until they reached a breaking point. Eventually, Roridel could no longer stay. She left Manila with her son and returned to her parents in Baguio City, choosing distance over constant conflict. Weeks later, Rinaldo also walked away from the marriage. In 1990, Roridel filed a petition to declare their marriage void. She claimed that from the very beginning, Rinaldo was psychologically incapacitated in fulfilling his role as a husband and father. But Rinaldo disagreed. He blamed Roridel instead, saying she insisted on maintaining her social life, refused to perform some marital duties like cooking, and failed to properly manage their household. The trial court ruled in favor of Roridel and declared the marriage void, and the Court of Appeals affirmed the decision. Now the case reached the Supreme Court, and the question was this truly a case of psychological incapacity? And so what did the court say? No, it was not psychological incapacity. For psychological incapacity to exist, it must be grave, existing at the time of marriage, and incurable. Applying that to this case, the evidence only showed that the spouses could not get along, had differences in personality, and failed to meet each other's expectations. The law requires inability and not just unwillingness. So if a person chooses not to fulfill obligations, finds it difficult, or simply has a bad personality, that is not enough. It is incompatibility and not incapacity. That concludes my video case digest. This has been May Polito, second year law student of MSU General Santos City. Thank you for watching.